I'll tell you what I'm most excited for come War Sales. It ain't the naval combat, and it damn sure ain't the Sea Raiders. I'm excited to find out who the real Sturgia mains are. Turns out, a lot of our Sturgia lovers just like big, fat, round shield walls. The second we grab some kite shields, you guys take off like you got 300 athletics. Poor Prince Raggy, left out in the cold. Look at his eyes. Look how you break his heart. And you weren't even going to say goodbye. You were just going to go get the DLC and hop on a Nord campaign and get your little paddle boats with your new thing. You were never a Sturgian main. You're just a Sturgian slut, you fucking faction whore. You make me sick. And I got a message from Grand Prince Ragenvad and the Sons of Sturgia. They're not so impressed with your boat boys, and we'll see about who rules the North. See you in the snow, ladies. Let's talk for a second about the Sturgian troops and moving them away from being the Nordic culture into a Kievan Rus theme. When it comes to the heavy spearmen, I think you're good where you're at. I think the armor looks fine. These guys are tanky as hell, and I love the new kite shields, and they work just fine. I will say, having played a couple Horse Archer playthroughs on the beta, spearmen are much better. However, they consistently tuck their spears away and turn to their secondary way too often. There's even a mod already that forces spearmen to use their spears because they're so bad at it. But when they're using their spears, they're much better with them. This is one of my favorite spearmen in the game. Love the way they look. Love the way they perform. I think you leave them just the way they are. Here's the big question on the roster for me, because if we're just being honest, this looks a lot like a Huskarl, right? To me, the helmet is the only thing that's a must change, but I'd be interested to hear you guys' thoughts. I'd probably give them javelins instead of throwing axes, but the throwing axes are fine. I don't think you should touch the line breakers. They're perfect the way they are. I love these big guys. They are so much fun to use. They sit in the back of that shield wall, so the cavalry hits the front of your spearmen, slows them down. They work their way through the shield wall, and guess what's waiting there in the back? A couple rows of these boys. Pony rides over. I love these guys so much. I don't think you touch them. I think they're perfect the way they are. Love them, love them, love them. These guys look good on paper, but what actually happens is they get up in skirmish range to throw their javelins, and this unarmored horse gets pumped like a pincushion. I just have a hard time justifying these guys over anything else on the roster. This is where I have a big question mark, is what do we do with the bowman? Now, if you check him out, he actually has 140 bow skill, which is really good for a standard archer. Their armor is very good for an archer, especially this head armor. They all have axes for their one-handed, which gives them a little more bite. I don't carry any of these in my field armies, but I do like them in siege defense. I think they're pretty good at that. Going to be interesting to see what happens to them. And don't even get me started on these Druzinic champions. My God. Mail from top to bottom all the way into the horse, and then we come in, put some plates on the chest and shoulders, and look up top. The gold trim with the braid coming down. Badass lance. And when you get to hear the arrows and bolts banging off the metal shields while you're charging in, to hell with the horse. I wish he'd ride me. Do remember, we got 140 in athletics and 200 in one-handed. Go ahead and let them climb up them siege ladders and earn their keep, and they're happy to do it. These boys are monsters. I'm excited to see what they do with Sturgia, and I'm really excited about the Nords coming in. I hope it's the beginning of something awesome, and we get more and more factions added to this game. We'll see what happens. One thing we know for sure, we're going to be fighting on the boats. We're going to be fighting in the shield wall, which means what? You're going to have to suck a lot less at the combat. How do you do that, though? How do I get better at the combat? One of my suggestions to people that are looking to get better at combat in Bannerlord is to start a new guy in campaign mode and get yourself into the training grounds. The first skill you want to work on is feinting, where you just wind up an attack and you hold it and then you cancel it. Okay, so we wind it up and we hold it and then we right click. Then we wind it up and we right click. You can just hold the left down and then right click and you'll just keep feinting like this. That's a feint. This can be really good in tournaments when you're fighting someone who's really buttoned up. Just hit them, and then you wind up and then you cancel it. And then they come to attack you and you can squeeze one in. So you chop, You chop, and you chop and cancel, and then you chop. And sometimes that little gap will open up their defense. So you're just going to chop and chop and chop, and then feint. And then chop. The next thing you'll want to work on is combos. So instead of just going chop and chop all the time, you can combo it together so it occurs much faster. And you can combo some cool stuff together. Like you can do a chop down and then come from the side. That's a really good one. Sometimes I like to chop on the side and miss on purpose and then bring it back around quickly like that. Put down the one-hander, grab the two-hander off the rack, and then we're going to come into the advanced training arena and work on directional blocking. A lot of people get overwhelmed with this mechanic, but I promise you with a little practice, you will get much better very quickly. So we just come in here, you walk up to the trainer, and here he comes. We're going to get rowdy, and he's just going to start beating my ass, but I got to come in here and block. And just block as long as you can. And if he three-shots you or whatever, no problem. Go back to the weapons rack, restart the fight. But just come in here and practice blocking. Don't even hit the guy, just block. That's the tough one right there, the down block. I promise you, you can get very good at this very quickly. Another good thing to try while you've got the two-hander is to practice your two-handed combos, right? So we've got our chop and chop, but we can combo them together. They happen much faster and much smoother. And we just come in here and we practice. So we're just going to warm up with the blocks. And then every once in a while, we'll try to send a combo at him. Ready? Here comes the combo. There it is. Beautiful. And then we can weave in the feints too, right? So this is how you practice getting better at the combat. And then once you're done with the rookie, it's time to fight the veteran. See, that's the feint. Ah, he got me. It's okay if you lose. Just keep practicing. Another thing you could do to get better at the combat is come into the arena and get into a practice fight. And then you can just come in here and work on all that shit you just taught yourself. And you're just trying to survive as long as you can. This is a great thing to do at the start of a campaign if you've taken a Bannerlord break and you're coming back. Helps get you warmed back up into the mechanics before you start. There you go. See how that combo, you just chain it in. Sometimes you bring it to the side too. One of my favorite combos is I like to bring it to this, like a chop down and then bring it around. Watch this. I love that combo. Everybody's throwing shit at me. Oh, they're all teaming up. Remember, the number one thing that will help you get better at combat is leveling up. The higher your skills go, the faster you swing and the more damage you do. But I suggest that you come in here on your low-level guy and just get good at that shit. That shield's down. I'm not going out without a fight. Just sell your life dearly. Do we got another shield around here? There we go. New shield, no problem. Just in time. You can see up there at the top, we've already earned that 10 dinar. Kind of a fun way to start the game. All's fair in love and war. Sit down. Oh, I got cocky. Well, that'll learn you. Shields up. If you get frustrated with the combat and you feel like you suck at it, there's two great ways to get some training in. And I promise you, if you just spend a little time in there, you're going to see dramatic improvements to your ability. And it's going to make the game a lot more fun. In the meantime, just know that you don't need to wait for the Nords to have a fun heavy infantry playthrough. The Sturgians got everything you need, handsome. And I think the new kite shields look awesome. Have fun, Bannerlords. Spoke the home out.